Some really interesting things are happening here in the shop.
Welcome to 3D Accuracy, where I'll talk about 3D printing, 3D product design, and 3D injection and die-cast mold design.
If you've been watching the videos, you know that there is already new equipment showing up here at 3D Accuracy. Now that the remodel is basically finished, a couple minor things to do, in comes the new equipment. And the shop is filling up quickly. Take a look at this. Just a few weeks ago, I took delivery of an Objet Connex 500 machine, 3D printer. And I want to see today what our goal is to see if we can get this machine connected up to the computer and talking to the computer. Now, I've got a couple of challenges. Please excuse the mess. There's a lot going on here. I have this computer here that runs the big machine in the corner. And it's the only computer I have right now that I can attach to the Connex 500. I just got a KVM switch, this item here, which is a little device that goes between the computer and the machine. They both plug into this little device, and it allows you to use the same keyboard and mouse and monitor for the software that runs on the computer here, for doing the CAD files and converting them to STL and then sending them to the machine. And then you can switch over to connect to the computer that's in the printer for doing all the maintenance type items and other things for the machine. So now, what's all this mess? Well, 2 days ago, I took delivery of a Stratasys Fortis 400 MC. And so we have to get this machine up and running also. Although I'm not going to work on this one today. Basically, what I have to do is find a home for some of these materials and items, that sort of thing. And so I want to get, because I need to get these off the desk, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to move that computer over here, because the cables, here they are, here's all the cables. I don't think they're long enough to reach from the machine all the way over to the desk over there. So I'm going to move that computer over here just so I can get it hooked up and running. Now, this machine, I need to put in a sub panel back in the corner behind this big machine is where the electric box is. And I need to put in a sub panel and run a 240 volt 3-phase line for this machine. I don't have any 3-phase in the shop right now. So I have to get that set up before I can connect this machine. There's also, you see there's an air compressor because this machine needs an air compressor. There's also a little box over here, which is a voltage converter. It just knocks the 240 volts down to 230 because the machine, I guess, will run at 240, but they recommend at 230. It's a little better for the machine for whatever reason. So I have to get this air compressor hooked up to it. This machine will probably get running first because there's less to do with this than there is to do with the Connex 500. But I'm not doing this one today. This is another time. I need to get an electrician in here and find out what it's going to take to get the electric hooked up on this machine. Of course, this machine is in good running condition. So once I get it all hooked up and the compressor hooked up and that sort of thing, then I should be able to make parts with this one much quicker than this guy over here. Now, today, the goal is just to see if I can get it connected to the printer, and I also have to plug it into the Wi-Fi up here so that I can send files to the machine. But this machine is going to take a little more doing. One of the things I have to do is those cylinders right there that hold the lid open. I need to replace those. They're shot, and if I don't hold the lid up, eventually it'll just fall and slam shut. So we don't want that happening. So I need to replace, there's two of them, one on each side. You see the other one here, if I can point it out to you here, right in the corner. There's that little piston that runs from the door down to the top of the machine, and that holds the lid up. And Anyway, this machine was having a problem with the pump that brought the materials up to the head, and so it did not print very good parts, and they did not flush the system out. What you're supposed to do is, let me close this lid so it doesn't slam down. You see, there's the material bays down here. There's support, 2 for support on this side, and there's 2 for model material on that side. And what you have to do is you get a cleaning agent, which is alcohol, in a cartridge. You slip it in there, and then you blow the system out to clean all the passageways. And that was not done. So what I'm going to do is, once I can get the machine talking to the computer, then I'm going to see if I can get some of the cleaning agent, which I know I can. I just have to order it, and blow this machine out and see if I get lucky and it cleans out the mess. If not, then all the print heads, hold on here, I don't want to let go of the door. All the print heads, which you can see these 8 little screws, and there's 8 little screws up on that side, those are connected to the print heads. The print heads will probably be jammed solid with materials and need to be replaced, which is pricey to do, but it may need to be done. I'll have to see what happens when I try flushing it out. I might get lucky, might not. In any case, if those are bad, then I'm going to be rebuilding the head, taking the print heads out and replacing it with new ones. I also may need to replace all the filters in the system, and there are quite a few filters in there, and I do have some of those. And also the tubing that delivers the material from the material bays down below here, and it brings it up to the head. Those need to be replaced. The pumps that move all the fluids may need to be replaced. So this machine is going to potentially get a rebuild. We'll see what kind of condition it's in once we get it connected. Then it will basically be a brand new machine, which would actually be a very good thing, because this machine is quite pricey to buy them new. And if I rebuild it and it's basically a new machine, all the working mechanisms are new, that's a good thing. Then I'll have a good, reliable machine for a long, long time and take good care of it. So if it needs to be rebuilt, that's okay. I knew that going into this purchase that may happen, and so I paid accordingly. Now, this little flexible armature here that comes up from the bottom of the machine here, all the cables run up through that and then run through this little flexible cable that goes to the head. All the fluids, material passages, all the tubing inside of there may need to be replaced also if they're all clogged up. Now, I did talk with Stratasys, and you can actually purchase this whole assembly in one piece. My guess is it's pricey. I don't know for sure, but I would bet that it's not cheap. And the tubing itself is probably not very expensive at all. So I may look at just disassembling this and running in the new tubing and reusing the harness here, the flexible harness. There's nothing wrong with that as far as I would think. And so we'll probably or possibly be rebuilding some of that as well. And let me close this lid down. But anyway, these are things for future videos. Right now, today, I just want to see if I can get it connected and up and running, and then we'll take one step at a time. So what I have to do is move these items out of the way and try to find a home for some of these materials that go along with the Fortis 400. And I want to get those off the desk and then see if we can get this guy connected up and see if we get lucky and it talks to the machine and without any difficulties, and we'll see what we have to work with. I was also thinking, well, if this goes quickly and I get lucky and it connects, I'll get these two connected also, because I haven't gotten these machines up and running, and they're going to need somewhat similar procedures. I'm going to have to go and flush out the system, see if the heads are cleaned. This machine and this machine, I believed, were flushed properly when they were shut down. So they may be okay to just go ahead and use them once I get them up and running and connected, but we'll see, one step at a time. Now I was going to see, okay, I can connect these cables to the little KVM switch once I get this one working, and see if I can get these two working at the same time, kind of do them in tandem, all machines, doing the same procedure at the same time kind of thing. But then I realized, this one, the cable has PS2 connectors, and so that won't connect to the KVM switch without some other cables. So I got to get a hold of some other cables first, and then I'll get these two guys hooked up as well and see what we got to work with. Okay, so I'm going to turn this video off, clear the desk. Nobody needs to watch me do that. And then once I get the computer moved over, I'll get back on and video trying to connect with this machine. Making some progress. Let me show you what I have accomplished so far. I have all the items off the table and put away, and I've reorganized things back here a little bit, moved my toolbox here, moved this extra air compressor over here. This one needs a minor repair. There's a fitting on one of the components inside that needs to be replaced because it's leaking a little bit. And I moved the wash station over here. Eventually this guy's going to go around the corner over here next to the other wash station that I have for my Fortis 250 MC. For parts that I make in that, I dissolved the support material here with that guy. So I got to move a little of this stuff and make room for it. And I also want to replumb the fitting in the back. You can't see it down there. It's too dark. Anyway, there's a really large fitting in the back, and I want to reroute that, see if I can shorten it up a little bit so it doesn't take up so much room. Anyway, got those things out of the way. Then put away all the materials that were here on the table. These storage cabinets work wonders, don't they? Look at this, huh? Materials, nice and neat, put away, won't get dirty and dusty, and it makes the shop look nice because it's nice and neat. So I like that. Anyway, then what I did is I got all the cables attached to the back of the machine, the network cable, the monitor cable, and the USB cable in there, and I got the power cord put back in. Everything's plugged in, ready to go. I just have to turn it on, but I got to get the computer up there first. And I ran that internet cable, the wireless cable, up to the router up there, up on top, the Fortis 250. So that's plugged in and ready to go. However, this computer does not have a network card in it. When I got this computer, I'll show you what this looks like here. When I got this computer, I was just in need of a computer that would run the big machine in the back. And so I didn't need a network card because that machine is a little older, doesn't connect to the network anyway. It was unnecessary, and all I was using that for was to drive that other 3D printer. So I'll have to take this machine, either take it in and have a network card put in it so that I can connect wirelessly to send files to the Connex 500 for printing, or when I get another computer, I'll just do it on that end. So one way or the other, but I'm not ready to send files to the machine anyway. I just want to see if I can see the internal computer on this machine and make the connection, and then I know I can get the supplies to flush the printer out, and I'll get that and go through that process and see where we're at. So anyway, right now I just have cables running on the floor, which is not a good thing to do. This is only temporary. Eventually I'll get those little rubber things that you can run cables under so I don't trip, people don't trip, that kind of thing. And the KVM switch, I have that hooked up, one end of it anyway. This thing is just a customer project. I don't want to show it, so I just threw that over it. Anyway, there's one connection that goes in the back from the computer, and then this cable that comes with the KVM switch, you plug in the other two cables for the monitor and the USB for the mouse and keyboard into it, and then it redoes the connection here. So that's okay. And what I have to do is put the other computer from over there over here on the table, and then hook this one up, hook it up the same way, and then I can just toggle. There's a button in the front, and I can toggle between the two computers and see both of them on the same monitor, use the same keyboard, use the same mouse to work them both. So it's just a handy kind of thing. Actually, I don't know why they did that. You know, had to have that goofy little thing in there to make it work. The Stratasys ones, you know, the FDM machines, they just work directly from your computer. All the software's in one place, although these do have a computer inside, but it talks to them a different way. So it must be something different in the software. Same for this guy. Then, while I was up there hooking up the internet cables, I ran another cable. I found a long one. You can see it up there, just kind of through that eyelet up there, and run over to the top of the machine to plug this guy in to the internet, so that when I send files to it, I can just do so wirelessly and drop the files in there and start printing the parts. Don't need a KVM switch for that one, and it works off the laptop wirelessly through the internet. So much cleaner. I like that idea much better. But anyway, one step at a time. I just have that temporarily there, so when I get to that machine, it's ready. So anyway, I'm going to move the computer now, and then we'll see if we have any luck seeing the inside of this computer that's in the Connex 500. Computer's all moved over. Let me show you how that turned out. Bingo, it's all over here. Okay, and you see how this works is the monitor, that plugs into the KVM switch, and so both computers coming in either from the computer here or from the Connex 500 all will go through the monitor, and the same with the mouse and the keyboard. They're plugged in back here, and then the way this is, what a mess, isn't that? Look at that. You'd think this would be easier, right? Look at all those goofy cables. Yeah. It looks like a big spaghetti mess. But anyway, it should work. It's hooked up properly. It's just not done very neatly at this point. But like I mentioned before, this is all temporary. This is not going to stay like this. I just want to see where we're at with this machine. Okay, so let's see what happens here. All right, the KVM switch, you see it's connected to computer 1. This is computer 1. That's this guy here. So let's fire it up and see if we can see everything on the monitor. And then we'll switch over to the Connex 500 behind me. And then I will turn the Connex 500 on, and we'll see if we can see it boot up on the monitor here. So let's turn this on. Monitor on. Okay, that's working. All right, no signal. That's right. Okay, now let's turn on the computer here. See what we get. Well, that's encouraging. It beeped. There we go. See, I needed this computer because it's running Windows 7, and the software for the big machine over here in the corner only runs on Windows 7. It won't run on Windows 10 or anything of that nature. And so what I did was I bought this computer, which is brand new, and you can buy these from a company in Orange County, California called Nixis. And you can buy a brand new computer with any operating system in it you want, which is what I chose to do versus trying to find an older computer that had Windows 7 in it to try to run the old machine. I wanted a good, reliable machine. Okay, so let me put this down for a second so I can log in. And then... Right. Okay, there you can see a picture of the shop on the computer. All right, so that's working properly. Everything's doing what it should do. Now let's switch over. I'm going to click the switch, and at the same time, let's see what happens on the monitor. Okay, because there's no signal now. Yep, see, VGA, no signal. But now it's connected to the Connex 500. So what I'm going to do is, it's all connected. I have to go around back because the on-off switch is down here on the bottom. All right, now let's say a quick prayer. Please don't blow up. And let's turn this on and see what happens on the monitor over there. Ooh, I heard a click. I hear a fan going. Ooh, but I don't see anything there. You can't see lights on any inside. Why is it beeping? I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm not getting a signal. I'm just getting a beep. No signal to the... Well, that doesn't tell me anything, does it? It's connected to the second computer, which is the Connex 500. I have nothing here. All right, let's try turning the monitor off and back on to see if that does anything. I don't think it will, but we'll try it. And let's turn it back on. So the monitor is working, but no signal. I don't know. If there's another switch in the inside on this side, there's a panel. I'm wondering, because on this machine, there's another little door here, and you gotta turn this guy on over here. It's a little different setup. I don't know if there's anything internal on this one. See, it just keeps making that beep over and over and over again, but I don't see anything, which gives me zero information. All right. Well, what I may have to do is wait until morning and call Stratasys and see if there's something I should be doing that I haven't done. I can dig through the manual too, but right now, I guess rain delay. There's nothing happening. We're not connected to the machine. The monitor and keyboard KVM switch apparently is not connected to the Connex 500. Now, let me just try something here. Let's press the button, switch back to the other computer. Yeah, that's working just fine. But it's not picking up the signal from the Connex 500. So, what's it missing? What's it missing? You know, there was one cable I found back here in the side that was a the square USB cables. You know, they're square. There was one loose connection that was just dangling in the back. I don't know if that's something that needs to be connected before the machine will run or not, but what all of this is doing, I have no idea. You know, now I wonder. Let me connect this. It's making a sound here. Can't get that darn cap off. Put this down for a minute.
Oh, that's nasty. Come off of there. Okay, now it's making a sound, so let's hook up the sound in here. See if it comes through the monitor. There's speakers in the monitor. No, I didn't think so. I didn't think there were any sound that came out of the Connex 500 because there were no connections for audio on that end. So I thought, no, there's probably not, so no need to hook that up, and I guess I was right. Okay, well, I think I might have figured it out. I opened up the other side panel on the Connex 500 and was looking around in there to see if there was anything that I need to take into consideration. And there was a little switch in there to choose between 220 volts and 110 volts. So anyway, I flipped that little switch to 110, which is what I have it plugged into, and let me show you what that looks like. Over here on the right side of the machine is a panel that opens up, and inside of here, it's a little dark. I don't know if we'll be able to see this. No, can't see it. Anyway, right up in here on the side of this power supply, there's a main switch here. Right up here, there's a little toggle switch, or a little sliding switch, I mean, that chooses between, I don't know if you can see it in there. No, too difficult to see. Anyway, chooses between 110 volt and 120. It was, or 120, 220 or 110, and it was set to 210 or 220. So I pushed it down to 110, which is what I'm plugged into. And let's close this and see what happens now. All right, so back again. We got the KVM switch set over there. Okay, everything's up and ready on that side. Let's turn it on back here, see if we get different results now. There's a switch down here right next to the power cable. Turn that on. Same thing, making that same beep. Now if you can hear that, it's not very loud. Well, that didn't seem to do the trick. It's giving me the same results. It's just beeping. Nothing on the monitor. All right, well, more digging. Let's see if we can find something else. But in the meantime, no progress yet. Nothing of value anyway. Rain delay. I have no idea what to do now, so I've got to do a little reading and contact Stratasys in the morning, see what they have to say, if they can give me some guidance as to what the machine might be looking for, or I need to turn on or connect or plug in or beat with a hammer. I have no idea. We'll find out. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you're ever in need of 3D product design, 3D injection mold design, 3D die-cast mold design, or 3D printed prototypes or production parts, please feel free to contact me. You can find contact information in the video description. I look forward to hearing from you and to being of service to you. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. See you on 3D Accuracy's next video.